Are you considering moving or investing in the 30A Santa Rosa Beach area? Well, if so, and you want the real scoop on what's really going on in 30A, then you are at the right channel, because we're gonna go over the things that you might enjoy, some things to consider, and to really get a good idea if this is the right move for you. So stick around. What's up, everybody? This is Tim Whittemore here with the Whittemore Group with LPT Realty in the beautiful Destin-Fort Walton Beach area, to include the Santa Rosa Beach 30A area. If this is your first time to our channel, we do tons and tons of videos about everything you need to know about our area. So make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that little bell so you're notified every single time we got a new video coming out. Now, honestly, people ask us, hey, what it's like to live here, eat, sleep, work, play, drink in these areas, and we absolutely love it. So if you are needing some information, looking to move, need some help, give us a call, text, email, and we got your back when you're moving here, Santa Rosa Beach, and our surrounding areas. All right, let's get into the content. Okay, what's it really like in the 30A Santa Rosa Beach area? First, if you haven't been here, maybe you're just kind of looking around and looking for some cool places to go to, invest in, or live in. Where is 30A? So it's also a different part as we look, and maybe you're Googling Santa Rosa Beach. Now, Santa Rosa Beach is going to encompass that area from the Sandestin, Miramar Beach area all the way down until we hit about the Panama City Beach area. And there's this big long stretch that has all the way up to the bay, down to the Gulf of Mexico, and all the way across. And when we talk about 30A, we're talking about that area because there is a highway, Highway 98, that goes smack dab through the middle of it. We're talking about that area south of Highway 98. And in this area is this scenic Highway 30A that wraps around all these different little beach towns. Now, these beach towns are really the area's premier luxury spots to go to. Whether you're a vacationer or whether you're living here, these are more small town vacation areas. And when you go through this area, that's basically what it's known for, is that 30A, right? You see the stickers with a little sun. It's pretty cool, right? What they're known for are the luxury beach towns. And if you start from the Miramar Beach area, you go down 30A, you're gonna find different ones on here. So you start at Dune Allen, move into Gulf Place as we continue to go east, the Blue Mountain Beach, you're gonna hit Grayton Beach, you're gonna hit Watercolor, Seaside, love Seaside, Seagrove, Water Sound, which is a newer area that they've been building out, Alice Beach, crazy Alice Beach, the whitewash, the Mediterranean look, Seacrest, Rosemary Beach, and then into Inlet Beach, which kind of runs right into Panama City Beach. It kind of looks the same. But in any case, you're gonna see all these different ones, and they all have this unique little essence to each one of those. A lot of the things you're gonna know there, because of the luxury side of it, is you're gonna see a lot of artistic venues throughout there, which I think is really cool, because that kind of has that beach and different vibes that kind of really coalesce together. You're also gonna find a lot of upscale food and dining experiences throughout there. A lot of beachside, really interesting mix. You also get, which is what drives a lot of people down here, is the white sand beaches, really flanked with not high-rise condos, which is really cool, right? You don't have a lot of those high-rise condos. It's all like single family homes, and is all flanked by this lush woods that are around it, and trees and forest and whatnot. So it's really an interesting and relaxing place to go. Not only that, that entire stretch that I would just mention has a bike trail that you could start all the way at the top of 30A and finish. It's a long ride, I'll tell you, but you could do that all on a bike or whatever else. You also have lots of festivals. There's tons of festivals that go through, all the way from like a nice wine festival that they have in Alice Beach to different ones that you're gonna see in concerts and things that you'll see at the amphitheaters that you could see in Seaside or even over in Gulf Place, which actually has a really cool one out there. The best part is just not overly developed. It isn't filled with what people have referred to the other areas as condo city. It's just really nice, quaint, luxury beach town. That's what this is. Okay, so I think some things to consider. I always kind of want to start with the things to really consider before we go into the good stuff, all right? Because I know that's why you're here. What's holding me back? Okay, here's what most people are holding people back when we and our team here have had conversations with them over the past decade. The biggest part is certain areas are going to be more tourist towns from spring into fall. It just is what it is. So as soon as we get our spring break time period which is typically in the April time, all the way until about when the kids go back to school. It's a tourist town. Depending upon where you are, like Seaside's gonna have a lot of tourists and it's gonna have a lot of people coming in and out of that area. You're gonna see a lot more in there in comparison to, we'll say, Dunalan, right? You're not gonna see as much there as you will in certain areas, but just know that you are gonna be sharing this areas if you are living here with a lot of out-of-towners. Also, traffic on 30A, everybody's going down there. Not just the tourism that's happening through there, but you also have all the people from the construction and rehab and all the other sites that are going on through that. You also have locals like us that like to come down there and do a little staycation and things like that. So the traffic on 30A is gonna be backed up. My suggestion is to try to use 98 to kind of duck in where you need to go, but there's not a lot of alternative routes to get around and in and around these different beach towns other than that. So the traffic can get really bad. It can get really bad on 98 too. I was just down there not too long ago where I was driving down 30A to get into a listing that we were gonna have. I believe it was over in Gulf Place. And as I tried to go through Dunalan, it was blocked off. There was an accident or something. I had to back myself all the way up through Dunalan to get back up into Highway 98. And by the time I got up there, Highway 98 was backed up too. And then there were people trying to turn left. Like it was just a mess. Now they are doing better. They're moving it out to 3 lanes, 6 lanes total, but 3 lanes go in one direction and the other. I think that's helping a little bit, but it does get congested. We still get that same sort of congestion as you would in Destin and Miramar, places like that. So just keep that in mind for the traffic. Traffic still does move pretty well on 30A. It's not stop and go or anything terrible, but just use your Waze, use your Google Maps, and it'll be okay. Thing to consider as well, the weather. Yes, we do get hurricanes or threats of hurricanes throughout here, tropical storms. That is something that is part of when you purchase real estate, it's in your insurance. You have to have an insurance premium that comes with all insurance that you're gonna get for your structures here in Florida. So it's gonna be in there, it's gonna be an extra cost. It's with everything just by being a Florida homeowner. Now it does get hot, but it also gets cold here too. Most of us remember, yeah, it does get hot and humid, whatever, like it's Florida, right? It's Florida cold, all right? It's still Florida cold, but it can get down sometimes into the 20s. Now it doesn't stay there very long, but sometimes it does. But we'll see it get into the high 30s, mid 40s, 50s is what we're gonna see in the off season. And that still doesn't sound so bad until I tell you that it has humidity back behind it. And when it's got the humidity back behind it, you're like, oh, it's just that much colder. I could tell you a story between a time when I used to fly with the Air Force for the National Science Foundation, and we used to go down to Antarctica all the time. The environment in there was -20 pretty much all the time, right? You would dress for it and you'd get used to it, right? But Antarctica is like the driest continent on Earth. So we did another mission up in the Arctic Circle in Cambridge Bay in Northwest Territory. When I went out into that cold, it was -20, but it had humidity behind it. And it was a way different experience. It was so much colder. But anyway, the humidity makes a difference, heat and cold. And long story being long. One thing else that you may not like in 38, there's no drive-throughs. If you like to be able to drive up and get some food and make it super convenient, there's nothing there. There's really nothing there that you can go drive-through for. Really kind of a strange thing. You're also going to see a lack of medium to large city amenities throughout there. Things that you may want to get, you're going to have to drive into Destin, you're going to have to drive into Panama City in order to get certain items. Now, cost of living is also something you may want to consider as well. Now, cost of living is 20% higher than the national average, as one might expect. However, I'm sure you're guessing where all that money is coming from, but let's go through some of the categories that we have. So groceries is about 2.3% above the national average in this area. The cost of healthcare is 0.6% above. Housing, there it is, 146% above the national average. Woo! Yeah, thanks Alice Beach. Utilities is 2.5% above, and transportation is actually 6.3% below. All right, we'll take that, right? And miscellaneous, I almost didn't put it in here. It's 0.1% above, whatever, okay? That could be a little bit more. So 146, right? Yeah, it's pricey. That's another thing to consider moving to the 30 area is the house cost, okay? The median house cost is actually about 1.6 mil. 1.6 mil just for the median, the biggest cluster, right? For a condo, you can still get in here. There's not a lot, but you can still get in there for about 300 to 400,000. For a single single family home, you can get into a low of around 560,000, although it's not going to be updated. It's probably not going to be the one that you're thinking of, but the highest that we've seen in the last year was about 18 million to be able to get into those. And of course, those are the ones that are sitting there right on the Gulf. Okay, and another thing to consider as well is the proximity to the airports. Now, if you're like me and you travel for business and things like that, you want to have good proximity to being able to travel. Now, if you want to go to Northwest Florida Beaches Airport, or Panama City Airport is what I like to call it, it's going to be about a 48-minute drive to get there. If you want to get into Destin Airport, that's the executive airport, it's about a 40-minute drive. Now, if you don't have your own air transport and it's not chartered, there are some seasonal airlines that do come out of there, like JSX, that will go to specific cities like Houston and Dallas, and I think there's a couple of others. It's kind of nice where you just kind of roll up to the plane, no TSA or anything like that, and it's pretty comparable to a business class ticket, so something to consider as well. And if you are going to go to the Destin-Fort Walton Beach Airport, which is the biggest out of the three that I mentioned, that's about an hour away. But the good news there is that you can get to a lot of different hubs from there. And Allegiant has a ton, like 35 different direct flights. So depending upon where you had to go for your business matters, sometimes as long as it's seasonally there, you can get direct in. A lot of the times for me, you know, in my business as the CEO of this business, I go to a lot of different masterminds and things like that. And a lot of the times I can jump on an Allegiant airline that says just a direct flight to the different cities that I need to go, which is actually really nice. So one last thing to consider before we get into the good stuff is, well, the bugs. There are Florida bugs here. I'm not gonna lie. I just saw big old, what we call palmetto bugs, which you may consider cockroaches, but they're not. Don't ask me how, not a bug expert. But about the size of my freaking thumb was the size and body of that thing. And I was just like, what is this doing? When we get a ton of rain, they tend to come in regardless of how tight the house is put together. So just know that we do have Florida bugs out here and they can drive you a little crazy. All right, so let's get into things that you really, really enjoy. As I told you, we do have those different beach towns at our 30A beaches are just gorgeous, right? You've got the Dune Allen Golf Place is gorgeous, Blue Mountain, Grayton Beach, probably one of my favorite. It's a very small, like sleepy little beach town, kind of hippie-esque, that's mixed with the luxury part of it. I don't know how to explain it. It's very interesting out there. I really love going out there. Some of the best beaches in there is going to be Grayton Beach. And I'm not talking necessarily in the park. I'm talking about the public access beach. You can actually get a permit to get out there, providing your vehicle can get out there, and you can drive right up to it, which is kind of cool. Watercolors and Seaside is more of a private access to be able to get into those. Seagrove, kind of the same thing, but there are some public access there. Water Sound is a newer community, a little bit back, I'm not entirely sure. Alice Beach really has its own private as well. Seacrest, Rosemary Beach does have its public access, and so does Inlet Beach for sure. But they have all these different aspects. They encompass some things. If you can get out there, just have these amazing, amazing sunsets that you can get to. I think it's world class. If you can get out either public access, or if you have an attached unit, a condo, any structure sitting there, and you can sit out and watch it and watch these sunsets, there's nothing that quite beats having that emerald colored water on the white sand. It's just amazing. Other things that you'll really enjoy, you have the springs and the coastal dune lakes that you can go out to. That's really kind of a 30A thing to be able to have those. Get a paddleboard, go kayaking, do whatever you want to do to go really enjoy those. Still having a mix of the white sands and everything else out there without the waves and everything. It's just absolutely gorgeous. One thing to really kind of concentrate when you're looking at moving here is that small town living. Like, I really feel safe. I really feel comfortable every time that I'm going out to these different communities, regardless of any of the ones I just mentioned. And to just feel good that I'm in a really nice neighborhood. I know that people around take care of themselves and take care of their community and really have pride in it. And it was something like I wouldn't mind my kids running around in this area. It wouldn't bother me too much just because of that feeling. And it's a sleepy beach town sort of feel once you get off of the main part, which isn't really a big part where there are busy parts throughout the 30A area. Just really, really nice. It's really an outdoor living area as well. You're gonna have water sports, like some of which I've mentioned before, tons of biking, jogging. The walkability is decent depending upon where you are. I'm gonna call it golf cart ability. Or you could drive around depending upon which beach town that you're in. There is some good walkability. However, golf cart ability to be able to get around to different places is actually really good. That's kind of something I came up with, was for that. But because everything's so spread out, because you have bigger estates and bigger lots, things like that. That's more something that I look at. And having a golf cart's nice because there are just golf cart parking in a lot of different places where you don't have to worry about bringing a car and all that other stuff, and just load the kids, the dog, whatever, and just jump, or your friends, right? Jump on there and really enjoy it. One thing for sure is the community. Community is a nice mix. It really is. People are really kind. I'm from New York. I'm from upstate New York, okay? I'm not used to this. If you're from the Northeast, you know what I mean. I'm not used to, was never used to growing up, just people being so nice and so helpful and really go out of their way for you. Even the people that don't live there all the time and this is a second home really embrace you as a neighbor throughout there. And I really, really enjoyed that. It's a nice mix of just that Southern hospitality and Floridians that really make this area what it is. And I go run the Seaside Half Marathon every single year in the spring, and the crowd that comes out there, a lot of the athletes that come out there, smoking me on that freaking 30A, but always so friendly, encouraging, and the community itself just is there to support it. And I think that's really, really nice to see that. You can really see it from my understanding throughout the school systems and parents and the teachers, how the community really kind of comes together for that. Really good infrastructure for that. The other nice part, the last one I'll give to you because I'm 20 minutes into this now, is really just the rental potential in this area too. Say you come down here, you stay for a little bit and you're like, I'm gonna move to somewhere else. Keeping that asset, it's an appreciating asset. Real estate's only been appreciating in this area. And then of course, you can rent this out for nice premium during the hot season. Literally the hot season, you know, that spring through the fall or whenever you wanna do that. The rental potential is amazing. And the best part about this is most people that are renting here are a little bit more affluent. They're more apt to really take care of your rental property, to actually pay you, not stiff you. Great potential for you to make another cash flowing asset out of this investment. Or if this is going to be your second home or just someplace that you want to go part-time and then rent it out the rest, the opportunities abound for this. So that's all I have for you for what it's really like to live in 30A. Hopefully I've answered all those questions. Again, is the traffic really that bad? How fun is it? You know, talking about the schools, the activities, transportation, you know, things like that. I'm trying to get around these different places. Hopefully I was able to answer all those questions. If you have anything further than that and you're here on our YouTube channel, please leave the comment below. If you happen to be on our audio, feel free to give us a call or a text. The info will be following this audio. But other than that, if you are moving here to the 30A area or anywhere here on the Emerald Coast, if you have some questions, if you need some help, contact myself and my team here. We'd be happy to help you out and find you the right place in the right area. Other than that, my name's Tim Whittemore here with LPT Realty, and we'll see you in our next video. Take care.